Climate change is not the first planetary pollution crisis we have faced. That distinction belongs to the depletion of the Earth's protective ozone layer.
ओजोन है ना सर
ஓசான் क्या ஓசான் नहीं मेरे को मालूम नहीं
பிளாஸ்டிக் இது மாதிரி பொருட்களை இருக்கக்கூடாது. அது எரிச்சா கண்டிப்பாக ஓசோனில் ஓட்ட வரும்.
குளோபல் வார்மிங்னால தானே உருவாகுது.
காற்றுல மாசுபடுது, எக்கச்சக்கமாக புகை எக்கச்சக்கமாக இதாகுது.
ஓசோனால வெப்பம் வந்து அதிகமாக வரும். இட் கவர்ஸ் எர்த் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் பொல்யூஷன் பேசிக்கலி.
கார்பன் டை ஆக்சைடு எக்ஸ்ட்ரா கேஸஸ்லாம் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுறதுனால இட் கிரியேட்ஸ் அ ஹோல் இன் த ஓசோன் லேயர்.
பேசிக்கலி அதான் ஹியூமன்ஸ் அஃபெக்ட் ஆகுது ஸ்கின் டிசீசஸ்.
நம்மளை வந்து யூவி லைட்லேருந்து ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கு.
கார்பன் டை ஆக்சைடு கார்பன் மோனாக்சைடு இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுனால ஓசோன் லேயரில் டெப்ளீஷன் ஏற்படுது.
கேள்விப்பட்டேன்.
No idea.
Ozone layer வந்து it's a protective layer that's present above the atmosphere that protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun.
வெஹிக்கிள்ஸ் ஜாஸ்தியாகிறதுனால பொல்யூஷன் ஜாஸ்தி வருது. ஸோ அதனால் ஓசோன் லேயரில் ஹோல்ஸ் ஜாஸ்தி வருது.
Chennai, the fourth largest metropolitan city of the Indian state of Tamil Nadu, located on the Coromandel coast of the Bay of Bengal. It is a major commercial, cultural, economic and educational center in South India. The city lies on the thermal equator and is also on the coast, which prevents extreme variation in seasonal temperature. The weather is hot and humid for most of the year. The hottest part of the year is late May to early June, with maximum temperatures around 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. The coolest part of the year is January, with the minimum temperatures around 15 to 22 degrees Celsius. The average annual rainfall is about 140 centimeter. The city being the center of major activities is a place where different sects of people come to work and settle here. It has been noted that the ground level ozone is highly variable during the recent times.
The gases, and especially we call them as greenhouse gases, they filter, they are very transparent to the incoming shortwave radiation, and they only allow the radiation to impinge on the earth, and it is the earth which re-radiates in the form of long wave radiation or your infrared radiation, which is absorbed by the greenhouse gases, and hence the atmosphere is heated up.
As the sun is streaming its energetic radiation, it is streaming with frozen in magnetic fields. It's a plasma, so the plasma is current, and then as it moves towards the earth, it carries the magnetic field. So when the magnetic field or same direction as the earth's magnetic field is getting deflected, when they are in a reversed direction, they are going to open up the lines, and then they are going to dump in a lot of energetic particles, fields, things like that, which will change the earth's environment, basically the atmosphere.
Ozone is a natural element in the atmosphere. Good ozone occurs naturally in the stratosphere, approximately 10 to 30 miles above the Earth's surface, and forms the layer that protects life on Earth from the sun's harmful rays. Ground level or bad ozone is not emitted directly into the air, but it's created by chemical reactions between oxides and nitrogen, NOx, and volatile organic components in the presence of sunlight.
Our research team is involving research in air, water and soil pollution. Especially in air pollution, we are concentrating a lot because nowadays the ozone chemistry is very important for our society and also for our nation. So what we have done is during Diwali day, due to excess of firecrackers, fire burnings, the NOx level will increase. On Diwali day at 8 p.m. we have noticed 148 ppm in the atmospheric level. So only because of NOx, the ozone level is increased in the atmosphere.
Ground ozone, mostly a result of photochemical smog caused by vehicular emission containing hydrocarbons and oxides of nitrogen, is present till the height of 10 meters above ground level. Ground ozone levels are maximum during heavy vehicular traffic and shoot up during peak hours.
Generally, we are bothering much about the greenhouse gas emissions like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone, methane, etc. Parallelly, there are some serious issues like short-level climate change forces like methane, ozone and black carbon. This is only due to the anthropogenic interference at a tropospheric level, or that means on the surface of the earth. And this kind of induced short-living climate forces also create much of problem.
Large trucks are mostly powered by diesel engines. Diesel PM is considered particularly harmful because the particles are extremely small and can be inhaled easily.
Chennai, now there is a drastic failure of our monsoon, October-November monsoon, and we have a heavy scarcity of water in and around Chennai. It leads to a heavy problem in the metropolitan area, especially on water resources. And now if you see the temperature of last summer and this summer, these heat islands are increasing more. Heat islands means a particular pockets will have more temperature, ultimately leads to discomfort level. These discomfort levels are studied by our institute, and we found that in the Perungudi, Tyagaraja and especially the North Madras, starting from this Tandayarpeta to Ennur and Thiruvattiur, they have high temperature of 40 degree, 41 degree in the midsummer. That means it will affect very badly, and the poor section will be affected more by diseases like dengue or malaria or measles, etc.
Air pollution can occur locally. Air quality issues such as ground level ozone, particulate matter, the release of other air contaminants occur in the lowest part of the atmosphere, which holds the air we breathe. Also, it affects UV radiation reaching the earth and adversely impacts ground vegetation.
In India, where soil is respected as a mother, where all the organic inputs which went in those days, whether it was in the form of manure or whether it was form of various other components, where animal heads were associated with agriculture. And this sort of an integration between animal heads and agriculture, making the human cycle completely, resulted into a beautiful food chain or a food web, as it was being called as. What happens in nature is where the entire impact of climate change is taken over by the soil. The thing in today's agriculture is we feed the plant and the plant grows. But traditionally, farmers fed the soil and the soil nourished the plant. So in this traditional agriculture, when there is a mixing up of all this carbon dioxide mitigation and all the heat and the ozone, can to a large extent affect the soil population. The soil is a rich, holistic, living component, unlike a mineral matter as described in agricultural textbooks.
Unlike atmospheric ozone that impacts humans through climate change, ground ozone is mildly corrosive and has direct health effects like eye, respiratory tract, and skin irritation. As most of these emissions happen close to where we live and work, they can have a significant impact on our health.
The number of days that we have hot temperatures, usually it's like 15 days in a year. Now it's increasing to 18 days, 25 days, 30 days. But how are people impacted because of this small rise in temperatures, and how many more days that we have these hot? This is called heat waves. It doesn't have to be a 50-degree heat wave, but even a small change like 42 degree. Usually we have 15 days of 42 degree, now we are having 17 days or 18 days. It has a major impact on the people. Food is not available to people. The way food is produced less has an impact on people. But malnutrition, how many times is linked to health? Malnutrition is a separate thing on its own. Because of the change in climate change, there is less productivity, agricultural productivity. That less agricultural productivity is giving malnutrition to a lot of people. Non-availability to food or non-accessibility to food is making people malnutrition. Because of malnutrition, they are having cardiovascular problems. Because of cardiovascular problems, they have other kinds of diseases. They are immunodeficient. So they are not able to handle any small thing, more number of respiratory diseases because of malnutrition. So when you see actually, we can't go back from here, we have to come back and down like this.
Most of our transportation system is powered by fossil fuels. The result is that transportation is one of the largest sources of air pollutants in India, especially in metropolitan cities like Chennai.
The main problem in developing countries, especially like a country like India and especially like metropolitan area like Chennai, we have not paid much attention in regard to the black carbon. Black carbon especially more in Chennai and the other metropolitan area in India, because we are not managing the Euro 6 level in all the automobile sector. Here even 1970, 80s model vehicles are running on the road without any proper checking. So this kind of black carbon checking is more essential and highly warranted at this point of time.
If I take a plant which weighs about 100 grams, and if I dry the plant in the sun for about 2 or 3 days, completely dry, the plant may weigh about 40 grams. What happened to the 60 grams? Yes, you are right. 60 grams water has evaporated into the environment. Now this 40 grams plant, I take it and I burn it. Take a matchstick and burn it. Gets converted into ash. Now this ash, for easy calculation, may be 1 gram. What has happened to 39 grams? Went into the air. Logically, I conclude from this is, what a plant takes from water gives back as water. What a plant takes from air gives back to air. What a plant takes from soil is ash. So for this amount of ash, we have been adding copious amount of other chemicals also which are going into the soil. So on one side, temperature is increasing. You want to say that the photosynthetic rate is increasing. On the other side, ozone is coming in. That is going to cause mutations. And on the third side, we are adding too many chemicals to the soil. And as we all know, any salt I take makes me feel thirsty. Any salt that goes into the soil makes the soil thirsty. So when this heating component comes up, water management will become desirable, and today water has gone down, water levels to a large extent, and the whole FAO knows about it, the whole United Nations knows about it.
Epidemiological research indicates that the effects of ozone on human health vary from respiratory system complications to increased mortality at exposure to higher doses of ozone.
There are 3.5 million direct premature deaths annually in 2010. 3.5 million direct premature deaths, and about 0.5 million more from outdoor air pollution, and then 4 million total attributable to household air pollution. This is the deaths we are talking about, and then 0.5 million of the total or child pneumonia deaths, children. We also have lung diseases, women and adult women and men, lung diseases, cardiovascular diseases, and chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. They are all related to air pollution inside the home.
Montreal Protocol on substances deplete the ozone layer has been recognized as the most successful international environment treaty in history. As part of the Kyoto Protocol, many developed countries have agreed to legally binding limitations, reductions in their emissions of greenhouse gases in 2 commitments period.
Montreal Protocol talks about the chlorofluorocarbons and other halogenated hydrocarbons, whereas the Kyoto Protocol talks about carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases other than what Montreal Protocol talked about. India played in fact a lead role in bringing this context into reality as well. But India is very clear and determined in its path that the economic development will develop, meanwhile the environmental will be protected without crossing the borders. And that's what we go with the path of sustainable development.
Ozone at high concentration is a health hazard because it can irritate airwaves, cause breathing difficulties, and even damage lungs.
The first 5 ranks, we have preterm birth complications. It has been listed number 1 of risk factor in the world, and then lower respiratory infections, COPD, which is chronic pulmonary obstructive diseases, tuberculosis, and asthma has been listed in 25. This is the rank of list of diseases around the world, global level. So we can see the importance of air pollution, indoor air pollution and outdoor air pollution, how it is giving the disease pattern.
Our country has been blessed with a large number of minor millets. They are the ones which would be able to face climate change and provide food for the whole world. We have excellent minor millets in the form of pearl millets. We have, you call it as the finger millets. You have jawar, you have bajra, you have copious amount of ragi and things like that. And these nutritious millets require less amount of water, which be able to face climate change, and maybe one day we, India, would be able to serve as the food bowl for the whole world.
Your climate models also, they say, if it is unchecked, that is your anthropogenic effects on uncontrolled use of greenhouse gases, if it is unchecked, it is going to be very, very detrimental for the humanity.
If we don't take enough measure of cancelling this effect, then it is going to be very harmful to the human, because the area is keep on increasing from polar latitude to the mid latitude, and it would cover up the entire earth.
Unless we check up this black carbon emission, it will create heavy heat island and heavy temperature will be there in future.
So, all this boiled down to the fact that this human-caused damage to the earth and atmosphere has a toll on the innocent children as well. After all, it is we who should make the positive initiatives to safeguard our future generation.